the 13th episode of Sweet Kitty Crafts. My name is Yolanda and thank you for joining me. A huge thank you to all the new viewers. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you like it. And also a thank you to all returning viewers. I also want to thank you everyone who liked my Etsy shop, because it's very much appreciated and it's so nice to know that you like it. Well, I've got a very nice episode for you today, I hope. I changed the setting a little bit, so I was sick the last 2 weeks. I had a bad cold and I had a lot of coughing and I really was restless, so I thought, well, I want to change my section of the bedroom that is craft related. So I put all the yarn on one side of the room and reorganize the stuff. Let me tell you a little bit about what is where. In that section is all commercial sock yarn. This is hand spun, and it's all over there. It's all hand spun, and that is hand dyed yarn. This is also hand dyed yarn. Some of it is by me, some of it is by other indie dyers. Behind this panel is my sewing and overlock machine. There is more stuff over here. This is drops yarn. This is it's mostly ice yarns. There's also commercial yarns over there. It's mostly acrylic, variegated, and yeah, just nice stuff. All the way up you can't see is a lot of drops fable sock yarn. I just love the commercial sock yarns because they're quite sturdy, and Molly is already here, of course. Well, there's some spinning tools over here, and there's my my dress model, and here is some of the dyed fibers I'm planning to spin very soon. And under there you can't see, it's just the raw fiber I'm planning to dye up and also going to sell in my Etsy shop. So I think this looks pretty good. There's also over there is acrylic painting of my Persian cat, who is Daisy. And over there with the crochet bag is all the yarn that's in my shop. And there was a big sale for me last week from the Sexy Knitter. You can find her on Ravelry. She makes lovely, she's a knitwear designer, so she makes lovely patterns, and she bought almost all my stock of Wildcat base, which I was very excited and very happy about. So, the 13th episode. Today is 22nd of February 2017, and let's start with the show. My finished objects. One of them is over here. These are the socks I made from my own dyed sock blank. And these are going to be socks for Patrick. And this is how they turned out. It's a top-down sock this time with a heel flap and gusset, and it's the slip stitch pattern for the heel, you can see, which is very nice. I've always liked it, and Patrick says he likes wearing the little bit of thicker fabric on the heel of his foot. So they turned out nice and soft. It's the Wildcat sock base, but there was a lot of excess dye in these socks, and I knew it when I was knitting these socks. My hands turned purple, so I gave them an extra wash with water and vinegar, and then I did them on a gentle cycle in the washing machine to even get more of the excess dye out. And it was just the way I dyed it. It was very predictable, but that's not usually how I do the things. But these are nice, and they are finished, so I can try to put them up again without destroying anything. Yeah. The next huge thing I finished is this cardigan. It's the Calligraphy Cardigan from Hannah Fettig. I dyed up the yarn for this cardigan myself. And this was yarn I used, I think, 3 times, and I ripped it and I frogged it and I started something else again because I didn't like how it turned out. But this one I really like and I really enjoy, and it is exactly my size. The dress form is made on my size. So yeah, I really are keen on wearing it, and it fits perfectly. So yeah, that was a decent knit for me, and I don't really any cardigan I make don't always fit me that nicely, and this one really does. The gauge was accurate. The only thing that's a bit of a problem for me is the washing of the huge thing, because I tried to put this little swatch I had on 30 degrees Celsius in the washing machine, and it really, well, it didn't actually felt, but it really shrunk a lot, so that's not an option. I'm gonna knit another little swatch of the yarn. I've just got a tiny bit left, and try it on the real gentle cycle. So let's hope that works, because it's a lot of yarn. It's gonna weigh a ton when I'm trying to wash it, and I don't really have the strength to squeeze it out and all the things. So it would be great, but if it's not, I'm gonna figure something out. It's not something you're gonna wash daily or weekly probably. So that's it finished. I finished a pair of socks from Knit Crate, and this is the Noro Curian, I think, and it's the weirdest thing. I find things weird probably easily, but it's a yarn that is not washable. Why would you want to send a yarn that's not washable for socks? But yeah, I had no clue what to do with it elsewise. So I just knit up the sock pattern just for practice, and it turned out okay. Lovely colors. It was a very quick knit because it was on 4mm needles, which is probably US 5 or something, and it's just a 2x2 rip, and slip stitch heel and a gusset, and then the sole stitches are just plain stitches, and the instep stitches are 2x2. So also finished those, and yeah, my design I was working on is finished, and it's going to be called the the daisy flower bed, I think, but let's see. This is how it turned out. There are just little flowers on the bottom of this shawl, and a lace border, and it's really simple. It's all garter stitch. The edging is little open yarn overs, and this is just one skein of 400 or 420 meters, not quite sure. It's my merino single space, and this really turned out to be a lovely shawl, I think. Let's see if I can wear it so it looks like something. Not especially good in draping shawls, especially with no mirror. I'm looking over there, that's my laptop. It's on my nightstand, so you can wear it nicely as a shawlette, and yeah, I love it. I love the color, and just one skein knit, and that's what the original plan was. So yeah, the hardest part probably will be writing up the pattern, and then test knitting it again. Maybe someone else likes to test knit it, and yeah, it is quite a challenge for the brain, I can tell you that, so I'm okay with it. Well, that was about the finished object so far. I was pretty pleased about, especially the big project. It's always good to have those things off the needles. But that was not all I was working on, because I did do a lot of spinning and a lot of plying, and I was working also on some just plain vanilla socks, and these are going to be for my father-in-law, because his birthday is coming up, and he did express how much he liked the socks he got for Christmas. So this is a top-down just plain vanilla sock with also the slip stitched heel and a gusset, and I'm just at the toe decreases, and I'm working on DPNs for the moment now. I like it. The results are getting much nicer as you practice, so that is good. Yeah, nothing else to say really. It's 2.25 millimeter needles. That works for me pretty good. These are the Eddie Colibri needles, which are fun to knit because there are different colors. So that's pretty cute. They're very lightweight. And I'm using for this the active sock. It's just a 4 ply sock yarn from Germany, and it's just a super wash, and there is a color, yes. Farbe, that is the color is a 41774. So this is the yarn, which are just very very nice and plain grey with a little bit of striping socks. Lovely. I think they're lovely. And then there is the sock madness, and I'm really curious to know if any of you are participating. There is a warm-up pattern for now, and I was really skeptical when I saw the pattern. There was color work, and I'm not really into color work. I really didn't do color work since I was a teenager, I think. And since then I learned how to knit with both hands, really. The English method and the flicking and throwing, and well, you know what two methods there are. And because of the arthritis, I was always like throwing the yarn. That's how we learn it here over in Holland, in the Netherlands. And then I realized there were other methods because of the internet, of course. And I was trying it, and it worked really well, and the knitting went faster, and there was very less movement of the fingers, so I could knit for a longer period of time without hurting my hands so much. So that was good. I'm just drinking a little bit of mint tea. And now doing the color work, it was really amazing. I never tried it because I can flick one with my left hand, and I can do the other movement with my right hand. So you can really knit with both hands, and holding one strand in one hand and the other color in the other hand, and it worked really well. I really am proud of how it turned out. So I will show you the pattern first. You have to follow for the whole sock. You have to follow charge, and I'm not really fond of following charge every row. And I thought the sock went very slowly, but actually it doesn't. It's called the Invitation to the Dance, and they are by Kaoa Coffee, I think. I'm not good in pronouncing names, but it's on the pattern. You can see it. It's free for participants of Sock Madness. So there is color work on the top of the sock, and the rest of the sock is patterning with just purl and knit stitches. And there's a new slip stitch pattern for me. It was the Eye of the Partridge, and I love it. It's just very nice. I'm going to show you the color work first. And this hasn't been blocked, of course. Sorry. So this is how this looks. And then you make sure you go into the patterning over here, which are also arrows. Then I did the heel flap and turning the heel. And now I'm going to work in the round, and the instep stitches will be the patterning. and the sole stitches will be plain knitting. So this is the first sock, and we've got to the 1st of March to with the socks, but there's not really a time for this, because it's just a warm-up pattern and it doesn't count for the real sock madness. So if you don't finish it in time, there's no big terrible thing that has happened, just so to say. The other thing I've been working on is I was cleaning up the room. As you can see there, I had a long while back an enormous amount of very thin yarn for the knitting machine, and I never really used it, but even for the knitting machine it was so very thin that I had no idea what to do with it. So I was looking for some patterns, and I love this one, but I already saw one that is a little bit longer, and it's just around just above knee length. And it was a very nice and bulky yarn, but I don't have any bulky yarn, and I thought I had enough yarn, because this is not all the stuff I've got. Over there is also more of the acrylic yarns. So I thought I did already had a very big de-stash of all the yarns for my knitting machine. I'll bring them to a lovely lady that lives here in the village, or a little town, and she's I think she's 86 years old, and she knits for charity. So I always bring her my excess yarns and things I get that I don't use, or things that are leftover balls, and they are knitting little sweaters for orphanage children and things like that. So but I thought, yeah, I just got to get rid of the stuff. I just had to declutter and make room for the things I'm working on right now. So I was thinking I'll apply some of those yarns together, just because they're real big counts, really like this. There's just an endless amount of yarn on there. So I was applying some of the I had some grey alpaca, which was ice yarns, and then I combined it with commercial machine knitting yarn, and I ended up with this, which is a bit blown out. Actually, it's a lot of blood blown out, but it became it is a dusty pink color, and I knitted up a huge swatch, because I just started with a few plies. I think this is 3 ply, 5 ply, 7 ply, and the last section was a 9 ply, which I ended up with, and it's gonna be looking like this. And this has been in the washing and the dryer, and it's very soft, and it is yeah, it would be great for a cardigan or sweater. And I just was not quite sure about this fabric, but I asked Patrick, what do you think for me this would be? Yeah, Mom, that's great. Well, that did it for me. So this was now I've got a real big tin. It's really like a big basket full of this yarn, and I'm gonna knit something nice. And I really like the concept of 2 colors with that cardigan. So I did also do a matching grey, which is also, I think this is 7, or yes, it's 7 ply, because the alpaca was a bit thicker. So this will be nice and matchy. And of course that wasn't enough, because there's still I think there were the guy I got it from had a real garage box full of bags of yarn, and I took it all, and I gave a lot of away to the school my son was on at that time. They use it for crafting and all kinds of stuff, and I also made this one, which I really like. So also matchy, and it's all free actually, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna knit up a real nice big swatch for this, and I'm gonna sample it how it's holding up in the washing machine, and it's soft. It's probably most of it is acrylic, but it's a little bit of fuss also in there. So I have no clue. There were no labels, just a number. Oh, Molly, don't! The camera's on the bed and it's in a box, but she thought, well, let's get in the box. So she's gonna turn over the camera. That's not what we want. So more of that stuff. And there's lots more where that came from, so I can make probably a dozen sweaters. And well, I just don't want waste stuff. I've got it from a very kind person who just didn't want anything for it, just wanted me to have fun with it. And I'm not throwing away anything. I just gave a lot of it away, but I just wanted to make some for me or my sons. And yeah, just appreciate what you're getting. So about spinning, that's a lot of spinning actually. I came across a podcast in which is called Woolen and Spinning from Rachel Smith, and I really enjoyed watching her. She it's only a spinning podcast actually, and the things she makes with the spinning, what she makes with the hand spun yarn. That's what I supposed to say. She did a few tutorials on all the kinds of drafting techniques, and I really got inspired to go and do a lot of spinning again. So I think I'll talk about that I started this. It's braids I dyed up myself. One is looking real purple on the camera, but they're all the same batch, and this is a thicker yarn. And I've got, this one is 140 meters, this one is 116, and this one is about 69, so it's a fair amount. And I wanted to make a vest with this, and it's just, let me see what I did. It's a 2-ply, and it's got a lot of barber pooling of course, but there are also spots that are just plain color. So this is a nice and also a thicker yarn. So I really want to go and start knitting with the stuff I made, because as you saw in the background, there is a lot of hand spun. So these are the strands actually that are just plain colors, and then there's of course the barber pooling, which I don't mind. So I've got I ordered the book. I already got a digital copy of Anne Bad's top-down sweaters, which you can plug in your numbers of your cage watch and then know exactly how many stitches to cast on. So I'm going to show you the book as soon as it arrives. There is more of her books, but you can't see it on the camera. So this is some spinning. Just a bit out of breath. This is England wool, and this is a chain ply. So also did this one. I thought that would be great for socks because it is tightly spun. And then I put out a random other braid or fiber, and this is the New Zealand wool, and it's a 2-ply, 195 meters. And the funny thing about this skein is it's all barber pooling, but the end, because I did a center pull ball and I applied from the end in the beginning, but the end of the things I applied was all green, as you can see. And I thought it would be magnificent for a shawl, because the whole shawl will be variegated and just the edging will be plain green. I can see it in my head. That would be great. I would love that. And then I pulled out another braid. I can see if you can see it. Yeah, it's this one. I dyed up 2 of these a long time ago, and I want to go and sell my fibers, because I bought an amount of fibers, just plain fibers, and I just love dyeing. So this is the same braid that I just spun up. I almost spun up, and it's the South Down fiber, and I just looked up a little bit for you to enjoy. and because I like to learn stuff for me. And this is the Southdown sheep, and the Southdown sheep is originally from English, and they were bred as a meat sheep. And for now they are in some kind of, I had to write it down but I forgot, they're in a program because they're classified as rare breeds at the moment. So their wool is the laptop is turning off, so I hope you don't get interrupted. It is a medium wool type, and the micron count is between 23 and 29, so that is not too bad. The staple length is between 1.5 inch and 2.5 inch, which is about 4 centimeters or 6 centimeters. And Molly is just laying on my lap now and she is biting my hand. And what I did with that braid I just showed you, I'm gonna use this as a practice for fractal spinning. And fractal spinning means you're gonna divide the braid in two lengthwise, and one end of the braid you're gonna spin just top to bottom, so they're gonna be very long color repeats, and that is shown in this bobbin because there are long sections of green and yellow, and of course there are other colors underneath this. And the other half of the braid you're gonna strip down, and I stripped them down in 3. So Mole, get away from here. Shh. Sorry about that. So the other half of the braid are stripped in 3, and then you're gonna spin those 3 ends, 3 strips, top to bottom, all in the same order. So the repeats will be shorter, and that is, you can see in this, and this is 2 strips spin up, so there's 1 strip to go, and then you're going to apply them together. So there will be parts that will match because the yellow will meet the yellow, and then there will be barber pooling, and when you get into the next color, which probably is green, they will match up as soon as the smaller sections will get to the green. So I hope that makes sense, and I'm really looking forward to see how this is going to turn out. So this is something I'm working on right now. Then there is something I want to start, and that is this lovely hat from Kate Davis Designs, and I hope I didn't print it all because it just cost you a big amount of inks. And it is the, I'm gonna write it down for you. I think it was the Peary pattern, or it's just a lovely colored hat. I did print the back because the crown is so gorgeous. Gorgeous it is. And I still got 4 lovely balls of yarn from Get Your Yarn, which granted. So I really was keen on starting this. So that would be great. Let's see if I have the time between sock madness and finishing the socks for my father-in-law. So I did order a book, and that's the thing I'm reading at the moment. It's a very it's quite a thick book, as you can see, and it's hardcover. It is a book, Spinning and Dyeing Yarn, from Ashley Martineau. It's the Home Spinner's Guide to Create Traditional and Art Yarns. And the beginning of the book is going about the breeds there are, the long wools, the medium wools, and then of course the coarse, and the ways you can wash your wool and fiber, which was all interesting, but most of it I did know, but you can always learn new stuff. And then there is about drafting and even building your own hackle, which is very interesting because I already got the equipment. I just have somebody to find who has the time to make it for me. About baking bats, about all kinds of things, spinning techniques. As long as I'm gonna read this, I'm gonna tell you stuff I learned and something you might be interested in. Even how to ply little cocoons, the silk cocoon recycling yarn, how to do that, building your own nitty noddy. It's just amazing. I haven't even looked through this because I just wanted to read it from cover to cover, and as soon as I keep go and look through the pages, I'll just give up probably, and I don't read anything I'll have to read because I just see things that interest me, and I really want to read this because you can learn a lot of stuff reading books. So this is the book again, from how to make the equipment to how to make money selling your yarns. Spinning and dyeing gives you all the details you need. So if you're interested, nice. Just gonna show you something from the inside. Gorgeous pictures, real colorful. See, it really makes my heart sing and want to start at it right away. I do have a drum carder. I put it away a little while back because it takes up a lot of space, and yeah, it just wasn't in the right mood for the time. I also have a blending board which is real nice and portable, and it's just a really nice thing to use. So I'm thinking about it for a few weeks now. I want to do a tutorial on how to use the blending board, and you can make real nice Rolex, which you can spin on a drop spindle if you like. I've got some drop spindles here, but yeah, just out of range. They're just over there, so you can't see them now. I've covered everything I just wanted to say to you. If you got any things you want to see on this podcast, or some techniques you want maybe to see a tutorial of, I can arrange that for you if you like. Let me know what you think about this setting. I hope the quality is good enough. It looks quite good on my monitor. Don't look at the clock though, because it's all messed up on time wise. I just use it for what the temperature is here in the bedroom, because I can't get it to work correctly. It's just messed up inside probably. So all that's left for me is wish you happy crafting. Let me know what you're working on. Let me know what you like. Maybe some things you want to know, or some questions you've got. Just ask and I'll try to answer everything. There is a Ravelry group if anyone is interested. There's not much going on, but that will be in the future, I think, when there are much more subscribers and we really can get into doing stuff together. But there are so much knit-alongs going on. I don't think it is any use in trying to start another one, because yeah, we will be overdoing it, I think. Good. Well, it was very nice talking to you again. I hope you will tune in next time and you enjoyed this episode. So hope to see you very soon. I'm just looking for where my mice went. Hope to see you soon, and we talk soon, and happy crafting for now. See you again. Bye bye.